Hello, everyone. Welcome to Clean Greens Living, broadcasted here live on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your host, Queen Bree, and I am here. I made it. I don't know. I feel like I'm dragging right now. What a weekend. Oh my gosh. It's Tuesday already. How is it Tuesday? It was just Saturday. What the heck? So for those of you who aren't aware, this past weekend was filled with so many events. It was Seafair. It was a Moja Fest. We attended a brunch at the Black and Tan Hall. It was a weekend. I am still recovering. I don't even know how I did it back in the day. I used to go out until like 2 o'clock in the morning, go take me a little nap, and then to be at work by 5 o'clock in the morning. I am not exaggerating. I literally have no idea how I did it because it is like 3 days later and I'm still recovering. Anyways, it was fun. It was fun filled at the Emoja Fest. My favorite part, as always, is Teen Summer Musical. The Teen Summer Musical crew, they always bring the heat. They always bring the fun. They will be performing this month at the end of the month for the 23rd until the 23rd to 24th and 25th. That is me enjoying the Emoja Fest and the parade. But the Teen Summer Musical will be doing the Wiz this year, and I was able to see the Wiz a couple years ago. It's amazing, like the way that they transform the stage and go into character. This is not just some neighborhood play. This is a whole production down at the Benton Royal Hall. So please check out the flyer. Go follow acts on stage. The 23rd, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, right? 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Yes. Please check it out at the Benton Royal Hall. Honey, fancy, get cute, grab your kids, grab your friends. There is two shows on Friday, one show, I think 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and 1 show Sunday. But double check, because I don't work for them, but I do have kids that are in the play. And you know how kids, they don't give you all the information, but my daughter was in it years ago and it was just amazing. And I know that it's going to be amazing this year because last year they did Snow White and the Seven and it was amazing. So please check them out. If you've seen them in the parade, you've seen the energy they brought in the parade. So just know what they're going to bring on stage. Another thing that happened randomly. Listen, my child is a singer and this girl can sing, voice like butter. And she was at the Emoja Fest and she got to sing with Johnny Gill. Well, do a little sing with Johnny Gill. So you guys take a listen. This is just amazing to me. Hey, that girl. I love it. Her auntie holding it down in the background. That would have been me. But I attended a brunch at the Black and Tan Hall this Sunday, and sis got a little more turned up than she normally does. So, but you know what? Black and Tan Hall, y'all, it was amazing. The food was amazing. The drinks was amazing. The vibes, the atmosphere was amazing. That's me and one of my friends' mother getting the party started. then this me getting my birthday week started. Look, I get a week, okay? I am a Leo. I got a week. It's in the middle of the week. So therefore, I'm celebrating before and after. So yeah, my birthday's tomorrow and I cannot even handle it. But yeah, Sunday was the whole weekend was just fun watching my kids in their element, watching them shine. My son Christian, who is very shy, but I watched him in the parade dancing. So yeah, enough about me. If you and my family, but Clean Greens. If you guys are looking for fresh organic produce, Clean Greens is now in season. You can go grab your fresh organic produce every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. If you are a CSA or looking to be a CSA, which is a community supported agriculture, which is community members who buy their produce ahead of time. They also help support our free food giveaway to communities who cannot afford fresh organic produce. So if you're looking for that, 124 21st Avenue. If you're looking to volunteer with Clean Greens, please connect with us at Black Dollar Days at Gmail, Black Dollar Day Clean Greens at gmail.com or www.cleangreensfarmmarket.com. We are looking for volunteers to go out on the farm, help us harvest, help us bring food in, help us weed. So please join us. So yeah, this past couple of weeks, we've been busy and making changes. I'm excited at Rainier Avenue Radio. We are now broadcasting out front, which I think is huge. People see us. You see people. So if you see us in the window, wave at us and let us know that you're out there. Oof, I mean, like, listen. Child, you would think that I was partying last night and I wasn't. But anyways, let's talk about it. So last week we didn't have a live show. I was busy, I was doing things, but also as I was doing things, I was thinking like I was reflecting on the show, reflecting on, what it is that work on my life, how can I transition to this? Um being confident in who you are. So last week, let's talk about it. Wasn't here, but there was some takeaways. I was thinking about you guys and I was thinking about the show and I was like, there's so much I want to talk to you when we come back because I learned so much self-reflecting. And I was thinking about my coaching journey and how I'm going full throttle and making sure that I come out here and I help people. But when I'm helping people, I notice that a lot of us can help people, but we got to help ourselves. So that's one of the things I was doing last week was helping myself and making sure that I can be this great coach and making sure that I reflect on what it is that I want to bring to you and reflecting on my leadership. In 2020, I want to say 2023, yes, 2023, like growth. So growth is this thing it doesn't just happen overnight and you can have an epiphany that you need to change, but it still happens in different transitions. But once you get that inkling that something needs to change, you need to write it down what you're thinking. And if you don't know where to start, I would say start with a therapist or start with a coach. If it's something, and here's one thing that can help you figure out which you want to do. So if you're looking like I keep making these stupid decisions that keep harming me, and I'm not understanding why I do this or why I do this sounds like you need a therapist. This seems like you need to go back and figure out what did you learn as you were growing up that helps form your decision making, right? But if you have an epiphany, just like I want to do something and I don't know where to start, and I have these goals and I write them down, but how do I get it out from the paper? That sounds to me like you need a coach. And sometimes you need both, right? Like I did both. I had a coach, I did coaching, and then when I was in coaching, I recognized there were some things that I need to go back to a therapist and see a therapist to help me move forward, right? So there's two different things that when you're thinking about growth, what you need to do. So I'm going to talk about the growth because this is important to me as I was reflecting on my week and reflecting on what I want to do and just watching people in action. I want to talk about leadership today. Can we talk about leadership? and what it means to be an effective leader and how we can be an effective leader. Or am I being an effective leader? So I guess the question today is, before we start this, do you think that you are an effective leader? And if so, why do you think this? Right? So 2023 was a huge year for me. I had graduated. I was helping plan projects with different organizations. But by the end of 2023, I was burnt out and I was tired. I was tired. I couldn't think. I was sick. I was literally sick. Couldn't move, but I was peeling myself out of bed because I had an event at the end of that year that I had to complete. I was paid for a service, so I had to continue that service. But as I was doing that event, there was a few things that were coming up for me. It was like I worked this event. It was the first time I felt confident in charging the price that I charged. I completed all my deliverables, even tried to help with certain other things that I noticed wasn't getting done, but the person wasn't taking my suggestions, right? And so at the end of the year, I found myself thinking, you keep giving all your energy to certain things. What is your reasoning? Why are you doing this? Why are you working so hard? Why are you working so hard so you're tired, you're sick, and you can't even think straight? Why are you working for people and giving everything you got and they're not even respecting your time? They're not even respecting your guidance, and they're not respecting the product that you're giving them. They're not respecting everything. Like I the one of the things that is driving me crazy about this new school is like no one thinks they need to be on time. No one seems, I mean, not no one, but a lot of people don't seem to need to, they need to be on time. They don't seem like they need to be organized. They don't seem like they need to be professional. And I bring all of that when I'm working with somebody. And this isn't just my self reflection, this is the feedback I got. And we're going to get into that because when you're being an effective leader, you have to make sure that you are not only self assessing yourself as a leader, you need to get feedback from other people to see where there's things, see if there's things that you can grow in or things that you need to change. But in 2023, I recognize that the leaderships that I were under, because I was under I was doing multiple different things. So the leadership I was under with these different things were not leaderships that I should be under, right? And as I go through my coaching practice and I'm working through my stuff, I'm checking myself and my blind spots. Like, why is there self doubt? Why is there this? And I recognize again that, and when you're in growth, you're gonna go through these ups and downs. Growth is ups and downs. It is not a straight and narrow. Growth is ups, down, around, and it's like a roller coaster. And like what India said, please let me off this roller coaster. But that's life. Life is a roller coaster. So I found myself again being in situations around the people that made me second guess my leadership, right? But then also with this second guess in my leadership, it made me want to tighten up ship with leadership. And I thought that I would bring this with everyone. So when you're being an effective leader, it first starts with your mindset, right? Every change we do starts with a mindset. Where is your mindset at? If you are a leader and you're listening to this, where is your mindset at? I have been noticing that a lot of people are leading with anxiety, stress, and trauma. Is your anxiety and your stress and your trauma affecting your leadership? Those are things that you want to sit with yourself and you want to get a journal and start self-reflecting on your leadership. What does it look like? What is your mission? What is your vision? What is your goals? And it's how you are operating. Is that aligning with any of that? Write it down, meditate on it, get feedback from others. There's a lot of people who are walking around with these godlike complexes that are not checking for feedback. You are not in this alone, and we are literally created to do this together, to go together as a team, as a group, um, as followers. If you're religious, I mean, religious people were created to connect with each other. Eve was created for Adam. Yes, he had animals, but he couldn't connect with animals how he connected with a woman. And we can go to a whole nother story about that, but this is not church. this is a podcast, but I could take it there if you want me to. So let me know in the comments if you want me to take it there with Adam and Eve. But anyways, we were created to connect. A lot of people don't want to connect or don't know how to connect. They think that when people are coming in, they think that people are trying to take their stuff. And it's like, no, people want to come in and actually help you. People want to come in and actually help you. It does not mean that they want to take your leadership role. Does not mean that they want to take your product or your stuff. People want to come in and help you. And you have the right people around you when you are self-reflecting on what your goals are, what you need, but also making sure you have that clear vision written down, and then write a clear vision of what you need from others to make sure that they can do what it is that you need them to do. I don't want people to be scared to connect with others. I don't want people to have this bad taste in their mouth like I did in 2023. I had a bad taste in my mouth and I was ready to just say quits for everyone. Like, I'm not dealing with nobody. I'm going to do this all by myself. I don't want to deal with anybody. I want to ask anybody for help. But we need people for help. If we do not ask for help, if we do not communicate, if we don't have a community, we get burnt out and we get tired. How many of you guys are sitting here burnt out, tired in leadership, burnt out, tired in working with people who do not know how to effectively lead? And what happens when you are working with someone who cannot effectively lead? I have a few tips. One of the things that I'm learning is I don't necessarily get upset anymore, because I recognize that some people are leading through trauma. They're leading through trauma of their childhood. They're trying to prove something. They weren't taught something. So one, I reflect on that. Like, are they being malicious, or is this something that they don't even notice that they're doing? And this is when our feedback gets back. We have to give feedback when we're under leadership of someone else. Having tough conversations. I think we need to be, it's not, I think we do need to be comfortable with having tough conversations with people. No one wants to sit with someone and tell them that they did something wrong. And you do need to work on how you say it, how you put it out there, but having that tough conversation with them and letting them know how their leadership affects you, how their leadership affects how you do your job, and find ways that you guys can connect. No one should ever be above someone coming to them and talking to them and letting them know how they're affecting them. And I know sometimes people will be scared to tell me things. I don't even know why. When I'm thinking and I'm looking serious, a lot of the times I'm just thinking, dang, I got to figure out how to cook another meal for these kids again. How long does this last? Another bill just came out of my account. Like, I'm not necessarily mad about anything that anyone's done. It's just sometimes people just have a lot on their brain. So when you're scared that you're going to talk to someone, you're scared of how they're going to act, you have to think, how is this affecting me? How is this affecting my job? Is this leadership something that is helping me progress and move forward? If not, it's time to have a tough conversation with the person you're around. And it's time to have a tough conversation with yourself. So for me, I reached a burnt out space where everyone's getting on my nerves. And I was like, it can't be everybody. It has to be me. But two things can be true. It could be everyone, and it could be you. Because if you're getting burnt out and it seems to be like this ongoing thing, it's something that you're not listening to the universe. The universe is speaking to you and you're not listening to it. and you're staying stuck in a place that you maybe have grown from. So there's a lot, there's so many layers to this. You have to think, what lesson am I learning from this leadership? And if you're a leader and you're seeing your people, are you watching your people? Are you watching how people are responding and reacting to you? And if you're watching how people are responding and reacting to you, are you going to these people? Are you having conversations with them? Are you having these tough conversations? Because as leaders, leadership, sometimes I'm in leadership and it is very frustrating. Sometimes I just want to quit being in leadership, go work at a grocery store, check in and check out and go home, leave it at the thing. But my calling is much higher. My calling is a leadership. I've tried to run from it. And not to say that working at a grocery store means that you're lower, because there's leadership positions wherever you go. But I hope you get what I'm saying when we talk about those leaderships where you just don't want to make no tough decisions. You don't want to have no tough conversations. So, also, when we're checking with our leaderships and we're checking with ourselves, if we're a leader, checking our negative thoughts. Is our negative thoughts true? Is what we're seeing in front of us real? Or is it something we're made up in our head? I'm watching a lot of people have issues with people because they made up stories in their head instead of had a conversation with someone. In leadership, you have to be able to communicate. In order to be an effective leader, you have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to communicate clearly. Your vision has to be clear. If your vision is not clear to people, you cannot be mad when someone is not completing the task that you need them to complete because the vision has not been made clear to them. In order to be an effective leader, you also got to lead by example. What do you want to see? If you're scatterbrained, if you're forgetting things, if you're not coming to the meetings that you set, if you're not remembering what you told someone, you cannot hold someone accountable for not doing something that you needed them to do because you weren't leading by example. One of the things that is huge in leadership to be an effective leadership is empower people. When people come in your presence, when people are working for you, they are not just here to, I notice a lot of people, we unintentionally have this slavery mentality where we treat people who come to work for us and work with us like slaves. But people come to work for us to help us with our vision and our mission and to get the job done. And then they also are learning and growing from us. And it is okay if that person then decides to leave the company and go somewhere else, or leave whatever you have going on and go somewhere else. And another thing people need to understand, that there is enough for us all to eat out here. So many leaders gatekeep so much stuff, and there's enough for us all to eat. When I notice people are mimicking some of the things that I do, I don't get mad. It's a form of flattery. I get a little irritated if they don't be like, "Oh, thank you, Brian, for showing me this." And do it. I do. I'm not gonna lie. That irritates me because it's like you can at least just say thank you, or at least acknowledge that you got something, that you learned something from me, right? But even if they don't do it, you know what? It's still a form of flattery. You got to keep moving. But you can't be mean. You can't treat them like they're nothing. You can't talk about them that they took your stuff, because nobody can take what you have. If you are unique and authentic and you have your own stuff, no one can take from you. No one can take anything from you because they didn't give it to you. God gave it to you. So remember that. Remember that. But you must empower others to be able to do what it is you ask them to do. You must be able to empower others to be able to move on if they need to, and it be okay with your relationship. You have to empower people to give you constructive feedback. And you know the difference between constructive feedback. I'm not just saying give feedback, get the feedback and take it all in. I'm saying get the feedback, meditate on it, and think, is this feedback true? Is this something that I can use? Is this something that's going to be effective in our company? I have had people give me feedback. I take feedback. I don't always take it the best when it's first given to me. I do get irritated, but I still listen. I don't snap off on people. I don't go off on people. I get irritated within myself. It may show on my face, but I take it back and I reflect on it. Is this true? Is this something I can change? And if I didn't handle the situation the best, y'all, it is okay to apologize. It is not about being right or wrong. It is about being effective in your leadership and being effective in getting that vision out. So we can argue about right or wrong, but sometimes you're right and the person's right, but it's about taking a step back and seeing where that person is coming from, because your vision and your thoughts is not always going to be that person, its visions and thoughts. And if you're the leader and it's your organization, or if you're the manager or over or the supervisor, you have to then make sure you're taking everyone's thoughts into considerations, but you also got to think, what is the overall goal of the organization? So just making sure you're empowering people, that they feel heard, that they feel honored, that they feel loved in the position and the roles. And also making sure, if you want them to stay, that there's room for growth. Is there room for growth? Is there room to move around? Is there room to add in what they want to add in? These all help to build trust. Building trust in leadership is important, because you're going to have a high turnover. Why can't I say the word turnover? If you are not building trust within the people that you are leading. No one's going to trust your leadership if you are not building trust with empowering them, listening to them, giving them space to give feedback, showing them the way, having a clear vision on what you need. Like, y'all, while I'm talking to y'all, I am talking to myself. Like, I am writing out my visions more clear. Like, thoughts in your head is just a dream. Once you write it out and you make it clean and clear and plain as day, it is something that can be taken and done in one step at a time, and it moves you through. Always encouraging collaboration, setting clear goals, and then developing emotional intelligence. I'm gonna leave you guys with there because it is time. Developing your emotional intelligence, making sure you're reading, checking yourself, journaling, and always willing to grow, and never be scared to say, I'm sorry, and make a mistake and fail, because that's all growing, and that is showing true leadership. I hope you enjoyed the show today. I will see you guys next week, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for joining.